Okay, here's our setup. We've got our motor driver board running at about 30 volts. With it turned off, it's pulling about 15 milliamps. If I turn it on, pulling about 160 milliamps. Here's a setup at the function generator. We've got these two lines labeled PWM and direction. PWM controls how much current is going through the coil. Let's see, so we've got the direction one set up at 10 Hertz on a square wave, and the PWM is at 100. You can't do 100%, but 99% duty cycle and 20 kilohertz. And they can operate off of 3-volt logic. Let's see. Set that up for normal. If we go back to look at our amplitudes, here's the 20 kilohertz. High level's 3. I don't think you can get any better than that. 3 volts. Yeah, it'll let you go to 3, but that's good enough to trigger our logic circuits. If we go to this guy, the direction signal, we can set the high level. I think we can hit 5 there. Yep. Low level 0. Okay. Back to the interesting stuff. So that's the direction at 10 Hertz, and the other guy, 20 kilohertz. And you should be able to adjust the duty cycle by hitting the duty cycle button. But we pretty much want to run it at 100%. Okay, so that's our setup. Now on to the interesting stuff. Here's our coil that I took out of a contactor, and here I've got a magnet on a dowel rod. It's a rare earth magnet, so it's probably like the strongest magnet you can get. And what I found is the solenoid doesn't really do anything interesting unless it's in the presence of a magnetic field. So if I take the magnet, I put it away, and it's got a, I'm not sure what to call it, it's got a ferrite, I hesitate to say core, but let's call it a core. It's got a ferrite core in here that it used to move the mechanical switch that it was part of. And I left it in there because I couldn't get it out, but it's actually pretty interesting. So you can see it's not doing anything really unless I move it. I don't feel any force on it. However, if I put it in the presence of a magnetic field, then we start to see some action. You see it pulled it towards it, and I'm feeling it pulsing a little bit. And if I use my finger to move it back into the core a little bit, I guess it's like a sweet spot, it's moving back and forth in correspondence with the direction input. So if I take the magnet away, nothing. If I get it in a magnetic field but it's not in the sweet spot, it doesn't really do anything either. So you'll have to play around to see if you can get this to work for what you're looking for in your application. Anyway, kind of cool. If you have any questions, let me know. The driver board hookups are pretty straightforward. You just got the solenoid, it says motor, we're using the solenoid coil, and then you got power that you hook in from your power supply, and then these are your connections that I've routed out to BNC connectors. And I had to do some rework here. If you look, there's a little IC with some wires wired up, but it's so you can use it with just one function generator and not have to do anything funky. Alright, let me know if you have any questions.